Ron Jeremy. I'm here at the Howard Stern studio today on satellite to promote my book, which is called Ron Jeremy, The Hardest Man in Showbiz, working in parentheses. I think the part Howard might like the most is a lot of the stuff involving a lot of celebrities, some fun stories, sexual stories, goofy stories, especially featuring Sam Kinison. A lot of stuff on him in the book that Howard might find interesting.
So this is all right up Stern Alley, so to speak.
This book is right up Stern Alley because it's gossipy, scandalous, but again, nobody gets outed. And I always stress that people that are involved in sexual scenarios were all single at the time, so they were not cheating on anybody, so I don't rat or out anybody.
All right, well, have fun in there today, Ron.
Looking forward to it. A little intimidating, but looking forward to it.
Ron Jeremy is here. He wrote a book, and the reason I'm having him in is because within the book, he devotes 5 pages to an incident that happened in our studios while we were working at WXRK, where he claims, I think, that he was hired by Cabbie. And
hired by Cabbie.
Yeah, he was brought in to fuck Tabitha Stevens in my studio. Here's Ron. He's going to talk about this.
Why would Cabbie want to do that?
I don't know. I'm going to get Cabbie on the phone and find out what's going on because I feel betrayed.
I don't understand.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You wrote a book.
Yeah.
Would you say you're the most recognizable name in porn? I mean, when they
at this point, yes.
Yeah.
People say I am. Yeah. I mean, AVN says it.
I think you are. And he still fucks hot chicks. You had sex with, who did you have sex with? Oh, Jessica James, right?
Yes. Yes,
She's
I did.
hot.
Very recently, in fact. I did.
Yeah, and you still feel okay about being in porn. No moral problem with it, right?
It's fine. It's funny, too, and I haven't needed any use of any medication, so I haven't used any Viagra or anything else.
How old are you now?
50, as of next month, 54.
54.
March,
no Viagra.
54.
And
You know, I was reading one of the porn stars was saying that the new guys in porn, they really don't know how to do it. They're all reliant on
They all take Viagra, and it makes me laugh because these guys are taking Viagra at age 20.
Do you think a lot of them are gay? Is that why they need to take Viagra?
No, they want to make it easier. They don't want the pressure. You know, we'd have to go, in the old days, we'd go into the bathroom and spend some time, like in the movie Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
You'd see Mark Wahlberg in the mirror, So I think... Actually, we're on satellite. They go like this and get themselves ready,
I don't understand something,
Nowadays,
though. When a heterosexual man, though, is with a beautiful woman, I don't care if it's on film or not. If it was Jessica James, who I think is very attractive, I don't think I'd need help getting it up. I mean, if anything, I need help slowing down.
Well, this is where we used to pull that joke. I used to call it the Kinison. Because you'd picture, you say that, but picture like a director who's kind of nuts and going, like, come on. Picture if you're trying to get excited over a girl like Jessica, and you got a cameraman this close to you going, come on, Howard, get that thing up. We're losing daylight. Come on, move it. Get that thing hard. Come on, you got to go home.
Oh, God. That would be a little...
that is hard.
It's not quite that bad, but sometimes you get directors who are just that bad.
Wow.
Come on, guys, we're losing daylight. We got to get out of here, guys. Can't you hurry that thing along?
You always appear to have like a lot of money and a good lifestyle and stuff. It's not all from porn, though, right? There's other ways of making money.
Well, for me, it's been like a lot of marketing.
Right.
My name was on rolling papers, hot sauce, skateboards.
Anything. You license your name.
Yeah, the company in Canada used my name for...
Are you a hero to young people in some way? Did they look up to you like, wow, there's Ron Jeremy. He's fucked every girl
I'm
on the
a
planet.
Ron Jeremy skateboard even.
Yeah, wow.
I get that sometimes. Also, a lot of colleges have seen a lot of stuff I've done, from not just the porn and music videos.
Well, let me get to the controversial part of
and
your
cult
book.
film like Boondock Saints has done well in colleges.
The book is called The Hardest Working Man in Show Business, hard being a play on the hard
Hardest
penis.
man in show business.
You're 10 inches, I think, your penis?
Oh, thank you for that, but it's 9 3/4.
9 3/4. You've even sucked yourself off for real. It wasn't like a fake thing where they put a dildo.
Not to completion, but I did a couple of strokes,
Yeah, you actually were able to kiss your own penis.
Was that enjoyable?
Nah. In fact, I made sure to wear a rubber because I didn't know where he's been.
Right.
So I couldn't help that. Sorry, Artie. Couldn't help that one. I gave myself a wrong phone number, so I don't call me anymore.
Ron, I'm going to put Cabbie on the phone now because Cabbie is well, I'd say there's about 5 pages devoted to Cabbie in your book, and the hardest working man in show business. And the book disturbed me because I got disappointed because I considered Cabbie a friend and I would do anything for the guy.
He's not the one who let us into the studio. It was some workers. It wasn't him.
Yeah, but Cabbie was behind it, wasn't he?
Well, he actually did stuff that was out. I don't know if he knew about it, but he did stuff that was outside the studio that involved anything sexual. He didn't do anything sexual in the studio.
Well, let me get to the bottom of it.
It was his partner that actually was on his
But
his buddy.
Cabbie was my friend, that he would be involved in something like this.
Why would you wind up in Howard's studio? That's the...
We were told by Brett. In fact, Tabitha, I think, might have told you guys this already. We were told that he was 100% into it, that you were totally in on it, and would even be advertising it.
Cabbie.
We flew across the country.
Cabbie.
It wasn't so much Cabbie's mistake as it might have been Brett's, you know?
Wait a second.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
All right, let me get this straight. Let's go back into Ron's book and the accusation. What Ron says in his new book is that he was hired to
By
be...
Brett.
Who's Brett?
Brett's, I guess, a friend of Cabbie's, I guess, a guy
Okay.
who makes, some films every so often.
And I guess that Brett and Cabbie concocted a scheme to get into my studio.
Not necessarily Cabbie. It might have just been Brett. I'm not sure if Cabbie was in on it.
Cabbie was an employee of the radio
How
station.
did Brett get into the radio station?
Right.
I wish I knew. I have no idea.
Well, certainly you didn't let him in.
No.
The only person
I don't know
that
who the
could've
workers were. I
was
didn't reckon
Cabbie.
it. Cabbie didn't let us in. It was some workers let us in.
But Cabbie...
Cabbie arranged it, man.
Cabbie works at the radio station.
I have no idea.
A lot of people work at the radio station.
Yeah.
But you were in the porno. You were behind it.
Not in the studio. Cabbie's work was outside the studio itself.
All right, so he was involved in this porno.
Right, but not inside the studio. He was
Understood.
Was he there at the
outside.
time?
No,
He was not there.
He was in studios outside this. He was in an area, a factory, like a warehouse, to look like the studio outside the studio.
All right, so he was aware.
Brett and I. And
Was
Taylor
Cabbie
Wayne-
aware of what was going on?
I don't know.
Cabbie, were you? And you always tell me...
Obviously, I'm not stupid.
Right.
But let me ask you this: if Steven Spielberg makes a film, right, and he uses locations, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And he chooses for this film to be made, and and I'm not saying I'm Steven Spielberg or anybody else is, but it is what it is. I mean, it happened, and
So
you actually said it. Actually, at one point I told you, Howard, I want to make a porno in your studio, and you said yes on
No,
the air.
I said yes. But in a joking way or in a serious way?
I asked you. And
Oh,
you said,
stop
yeah,
it.
sure, man.
You're
Go
being
ahead.
silly. You're being silly.
No, you did. You did.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Did you recall anything like that, Robin?
No.
Where I said yes, go shoot a porno? No one asked
Knowing
me.
you, I don't know that you could ever say yes to
I
that.
asked you, and you said yes.
Oh, Cabbie,
It
come
does
on.
exist.
Don't insult my intelligence.
I'm not insulting your intelligence.
You are.
Anyway, I'm just a guy, man. That's all I am. I'm just a guy.
What does that mean? How are you a victim in this?
I'm not saying I'm a victim.
So you lined up a crew.
But no, I didn't line anything up.
It wasn't him. It was
really,
it was Brett.
really
Brett
want all
admits
this
it.
stuff out there.
I don't know
it's
what the
Cabbie's
fuck is
I
going
don't
on.
know-
What was
I don't-
Cabbie's involvement in
Cabbie,
this, Ron?
why don't you tell me what your involvement in this film was, and let's come clean on it.
What do you mean my involvement?
What is this? You guys shot a porno in my studio. Ron Jeremy fucked Tabitha Stevens in the chair I'm sitting in right now.
No, Taylor
Well,
Wayne.
Oh, Taylor Wayne.
Tabitha Stevens was in the green room.
Okay.
Cabbie was not there. But
So
he
you-
worked on
No idea what
scenes
you're talking
outside the
about.
studio.
Right.
You
I
had
understand
Tabitha
that.
in the green room?
That's correct. I wore a Gene Simmons mask, and Gene Simmons signed off on it. I got Gene Simmons to give me a model release so I could use his face in the scene.
Was Brett there?
Brett was, of course, Brett was in charge of the movie. He was
How
there.
did that happen?
Brett
Because
did
Cabbie-
scenes also in the studio. Cabbie was not actually there. Cabbie did stuff outside the studio. Part of them. I was part
Well,
of the
yeah,
Why
I
was
mean-
Brett there? Because Cabbie set it up.
Well, it wasn't Cabbie who let us in.
It's Cabbie's movie, though, right? Cabbie was involved in it. He owned it.
There actually were two films. One was called the Crazy Cabbie movie, involving scenes that were not in the studio.
Right.
And then there's we called the Shock Jock Studio movie, which was scenes in the studio. with
So,
Brett
Ron,
and
what are
myself.
you telling
And we
me?
were told you were absolutely not
You
in
were
on it.
told that I was
You were
in
going
on
to
it.
support it. You were in on it, and that's why Tabitha and I and Taylor Wayne actually did it.
Understand that
And
you're...
Christy Lake. We figured Howard, and we actually Brett called up companies like Jill Kelly's company and had them lined up to buy the film.
I understand.
And he said
that-
three prices. Here's a price based on Howard knowing about it but not endorsing it. Here's a bigger price based on you endorsing the film, because everyone knew that if you mention it on the radio,
Right.
film's going to be worth probably about 8 times the value.
Right.
So they had two different price structures.
I understand that you're innocent in this. You were hired to do a film, and you were told that this was acceptable to shoot
and
on
we worked for a
location
lot less
there.
money because it was
Can I
your-
ask
Well,
what
I-
exactly was done in the studio as well?
Go ahead. Tell us what was done in the studio.
Hardcore scenes. I was involved in 2 scenes. Brett did a scene in your studio. I did a scene on your chair. Didn't involve any finishing up. There's nothing. No, we didn't.
No
finishing.
No ending.
What
I
did
keep
you-
thinking I'm on regular. No
you fucked
climax.
a girl
no
in
pop.
my chair.
On your chair. No
Okay.
no ending. We made a joke like, "Here comes the ending," and we didn't end it.
Right.
We were
But
going like,
did you cover
and
the
we joked.
chair at all? Or
Yes,
it was,
with towels.
With towels.
Yes.
Where do you end
We never
up?
used your microphone, by the way. That was someone asked me that.
And
We
someone,
never used your- never
but someone
used the mic.
suggested that. So it was at my console. It was
Right
at
on
my
your chair.
my private
And we
studio.
we
Oh,
made
my
jokes with
God.
there's an O.J. Simpson mask we made jokes about too.
Now you know my studio was locked, so someone had to have a key to that.
Of course.
someone
Of
got a
course.
key.
We figured you were totally behind it, so it didn't surprise us there was a key. And then we did another scene in the green room with
Cabbie,
Tabitha
how'd you
Stevens.
get the key?
I didn't get a key.
All right, Cabbie, what was your involvement?
Let me tell you this: your studio wasn't always locked. First of all,
It was supposed to be.
And everybody in their, and I'm not saying I was one, but everybody and their brother, when I used to be working, would come up, and it was like, what do you call it? I don't know. It was like the fucking Niagara Falls of radio, man. I mean, people would walk people through. It was pretty much wide open.
Right. Okay. So fine, but what is your involvement in this film, so I can understand the amount of betrayal here?
What? My involvement in it?
Yeah. What were you? Were you an owner? What was your involvement? Let's come clean.
Steven Spielberg is what? A producer?
Director.
Come on, Cabbie.
He can produce any. Did you produce the film?
Steven Spielberg do.
Steven Spielberg is a director.
He's the guy behind things, right?
Well, he's a director.
But he's also a producer.
And who
Throw
is
a
it?
little Steven Spielberg in the whole thing.
So you're the producer.
Yes.
And so you put up money, or you just got the money people together with all the porno people?
Right.
And you guaranteed them you could get them into my studio?
Never guaranteed anybody anything.
Right, but you managed to get them into my studio.
Well, I wasn't the one who got him into your studio.
But you
who
made it
wrote
possible.
this whole thing and decided there should be.
You know what? I was there a couple times, but I was never the one.
Yeah, but whose idea was it?
As Ron said, I was never the one who let anybody in the
That's
studio.
But Cabbie, that's a semantics. If you're the producer, wait a second. If you're the producer of this, it means you were in on it.
There was other producers too.
Okay, but you're my friend, and you worked at
I am
K-Rock.
your friend, I guess. Yes, I am your friend.
Now you're guessing.
Now you're
whether a
guessing.
friend.
Well, gee, I thought I was a friend when I was writing to you in prison, and I thought I was a friend when I go to Sirius every day and beg him for a job for you.
Well,
I thought I was a friend.
Well, Brett is the one who actually, from what I understand, the producer of the film was Brett.
I don't. But Cabbie was a producer
who the fuck
too.
is Brett?
Who is Brett?
He's a guy. He's a guy. But can I just?
Can I say something?
Wait, can I say something?
That people, I don't know nobody, but sometimes people latch onto that fact that I have a connection to you and a connection to the radio, and I'm a fucking name.
Hold on, Lee.
I'm a producer.
Lee, I'm going to talk to you straight. It's Gary, because I just want to get a straight answer. I'm not throwing you under the bus.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm not. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a straight question.
Just like when you called me, or no, was it Will who called me and said that there was, you guys want to talk to me on the air Wednesday?
You're digressing, and then I called you yesterday. I told you exactly what we're doing. So I'm going to ask you.
You told me that you wanted to talk about how people got paid or didn't get paid.
We wanted to talk about the film being made. Ron, Cabbie, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. You're deflecting.
Is that what you said?
Yes, I said we're going to talk about how the film was made, and that Ron said in his book. Shut the fuck up. That Ron said in his book that people weren't paid, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. We're still at the point how the movie was made. And the question is very simple. People had to get into the building, okay? Whoever Brett is doesn't have the ability to put people's name on a list to get them in the building. So who facilitated getting people in the building to shoot the movie? It's a simple.
I don't know.
But
Of
you
course
have
you
to know that.
You're the producer, of course, and the whole point of the film is to have sex in Howard Stern's studio.
Who's involved in making this movie that worked at Infinity besides you? And the answer is no one, I'm guessing.
Hey, Gary.
The
answer is I'm not going to say. How about that?
So you're saying that there is someone else.
I might come in and talk to Howard as he calls me a friend. I might come in and talk to Howard as a friend about that, but I'm not going to throw someone under the fucking bus like you say.
How honorable.
That's what you want.
You threw me under the bus.
How did I throw you under the bus?
You used my studio.
Without permission.
And you had people having sex in my chair, and you know that if that's not your right, and that's not your business, and that's not something you do to a friend. You don't do that stuff.
Okay, well, can I say this without throwing anybody under the bus? Many people had sex in your chair, Howard. And it wasn't, I'm not saying on film or off film.
Cabbie, I don't know about that. I know about this because it's in Ron's book.
Okay.
And I know about you.
I don't know why Ron had to put it in his book. It was something that happened, and I guess he felt he needed to sell a book. So
He put it in the book the same reason you shot it in Howard's studio, to sell books. He put it in the book because he felt ripped off.
Has a movie ever come
Well,
out?
not so much.
Has there ever been a porno out shot in Howard's studio? Will there ever be? Probably not.
Right.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg makes a film. Does he necessarily ever put it out?
Hold on a second. Can I hold on, Artie? 1 second. Let's get rid of the Let's get rid of the Steven Spielberg thing very quickly. When Steven Spielberg makes a film, he gets permits and permission and pays people to use their locations. So that whole Spielberg thing is ridiculous. In other words, Spielberg went to.
Well, you know what? Listen.
Why are we entertaining his Spielberg analogy?
I'm sorry, and that's all I can say.
Well, Cabbie, I don't still understand what it is that you did other than use me. You used me, right?
No, actually, I didn't.
How do you figure you didn't?
If I used you, I would be out promoting this and selling it, and.
But you had sex.
That was never gonna happen.
You snuck people into a room that I trusted you. I trusted you as a friend. We were pals. We hung out.
We hung out a couple times.
Yeah, we did. I don't do that with many people. So the way I get paid back is let's fuck them over.
Now you're not even really a friend. You say you're a friend. I'm really shocked at this questioning, even if you're friends.
I know.
I mean, how many radio guys wrote you in prison, and how many radio guys sat there and lobbied to get you jobs?
And Robin waited online for 3 hours to come and see you in prison on her day off. I mean, we're all friends.
You know what, Gary? It is what it is.
No.
I did something, and I was a part of something, and. Like I said, it's never going to see the light of day. I'm not selling it. I'm not out.
Yeah, Cabbie, in fairness to Cabbie, he had it shelved. He had the thing.
I understand he had it shelved because he would have lost his job.
I said Cabbie had it shelved. You had the film shelved.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying in fairness to you,
great. I mean,
he had
you
it
know,
canceled.
But I think
nice.
No,
again,
that was in fairness to Cabbie. Cabbie would have lost his
Cabbie
job.
was worried about his job.
I think he had it shelved. And Cabbie, if I'm wrong on this, let me know. I'm not going to say things that I don't know for sure, but I think it was shelved because word got back to higher ups at Infinity, and you were told if there is a film, we don't know that there is, but if there's a film and it's released, you will never work in this business again.
It's not why it got shelved.
Why did it get shelved?
It got shelved because it got shelved.
Bad lighting.
Why did it get shelved?
Bad acting?
Because I chose not to put it out.
Why?
Many reasons.
I would say primarily.
You could give us the top three.
Yeah, why did Spielberg change his mind?
You want the top three?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to put it out, and that's the top three, all in a fucking nutshell.
Because you came to your senses.
Maybe, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It feels pretty bad to me. You're one of the guys I really like in the business, and I got to be honest with you, it hurts.
Well, you know, this is part of his...
You know what? I'm sorry, but you did say I could do it.
No.
Part of his self-destructive stuff.
It's on audio. It exists.
Cabbie, this is Artie. You know, we're all friends here, man. And I can't stand by and watch you make yet another life mistake here. You have to come clean and tell Howard the truth. Saying that he okayed it is total bullshit. You know that. And ask and apologize to him in a real, honest way, like a friend would. Admit to him. You're lying and you're digging the hole deeper.
He can never
You're
be a
digging
pal.
the hole deeper, Cabbie.
If he just came on one time and said, you know, man, I made a dumb fucking move.
Right. I mean, that's it. We've all done dumb
knew
things.
this was coming up. He could have.
You know how dumb the move was? That's why it never fucking came out and never would. But see, a guy like Ron Jeremy, who needs to get out there and fucking promote himself so much, even though he's Ron Jeremy and everybody on the whole fucking planet knows him, has to put it in his book that he did it.
But I guess Ron has grievances.
But why shouldn't...
Well, no, I don't have any grievances at this point.
I thought you were mad initially that you never got paid.
What we got was basically just to cover us flying across the country. It was basic minimum. We did it because we figured it'd be...
Look, Cabbie, Ron is not John Grisham. He's not selling books on how he writes.
Ron, how many sex scenes do you do for free?
Well, it sounds like Ron was lied to also.
Yeah.
Ron wasn't lied to.
Well, just the fact, not by you, Cabbie, but by Brett, that Howard would be in on it, that's all. In fact, it wasn't just me. He called up Jill Kelly's company and giving her different prices based on Howard being endorsed.
Would you have been in this movie had you known that I had no knowledge that this was being taped?
No, not a prayer. Would not have,
you wouldn't have gotten on a plane.
Tabitha wouldn't have done it either.
Right.
No,
right.
No.
That's what I mean. It was all done behind my back.
But in fairness to Cabbie, he's not the one who made the promises. It was Brett.
Yeah, and
Howard, listen,
and Brett admits it, by the way.
Howard, can I just say, and I'll say it again, I am sorry, and there's a reason it never came out, and it is because I fucked up.
Yeah, I wish you'd come to me, man. At least I could have cleaned my chair.
I let anybody in the building, but I was a part of something. I was a part of something that I regretted being a part of, and that's why it won't see the light of day.
Brett fully admits it that he was the producer of it. Brett has no problem.
I don't know
admitting.
who Brett is.
But Brett was
I think you guys know him. You know him, I think.
I never heard of him.
Well, Brett admits full that he produced it.
Yeah, I don't know who Brett is. I know Cabbie. Cabbie was a guy I considered to be a good friend. Like, I knew I could call Cabbie if I needed something, and he could call me. And I'm not saying that I'm the closest friend in the world to Cabbie, but I do care about the guy. And that just shows he doesn't care about me, or at least...
That's not true. It's not true. I was young, dumb, and stupid.
All right, well,
And that's exactly what it was. And that's why, I put it away, and it was never going to be fucking an issue. And then Mr. Ron Jeremy felt he had to put it in his book because he needed to get on your show and so
It's his story, too, Cabbie.
But, it is.
It is. Well, let's take some calls and see what's going on.
You can't blame Ron for putting it in a book.
No, I don't blame Ron. Ron is innocent.
And in fact, I was very specific in the book saying that Cabbie did not, was not there in the studio, and also the fact that
that doesn't
Brett,
make a difference. I mean, Cabbie, if God forbid Cabbie got caught in the studio with this, his job would have been right out the window. He knows that. I mean, he had a good gig in radio.
And others would have. Yeah, I did have a good gig in radio, and I went to fucking jail for my gig in radio, and I got out, and I still can't get a full-time job.
I know, and I'm one of the idiots who's trying to get you one.
You know what? And you've been good to me. And
I have.
And that's a big reason it was never going to come out, Howard.
Well, thanks. Gee, good thing I wasn't. Good thing I was good to you.
Yeah, being good to you, he just made the movie. He didn't never release it.
And fucking say I'm sorry 100 times, because sorry once or sorry 100 times is still I'm sorry.
Hey, Rick, you're on the air with Cabbie and Ron Jeremy, the new book, The Hardest Working Man in Show Business.
Good morning, Howard. How you doing?
All right.
All right, I just got some real quick things to say. First off, Ron, I like your work on VH1, man. I think you're the funniest fucking guy on those shows.
Thank you.
Now, and Artie, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Boston in March.
Okay.
Cabbie, you are the biggest fucking scumbag in the world. Howard has helped you so much, and you backstab him every fucking chance you get. You are a douchebag. You're not even a good cab driver, motherfucker.
When have I backstabbed Howard?
Just now. Dude, he wrote you in prison. Shut the fuck up and let me answer, dude.
I get.
Shut the fuck up and let me answer.
Oh, eat a dick, fag. Turn
how many dicks did you suck in prison, faggot?
What now, bitch?
A hole in the world is satellite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're surprised, right?
I'm trying to be radio.
All right, let's
savvy.
go to Rick. Rick, go ahead. You're on the air with Cabbie and Ron Jeremy.
People think that you made my career, Howard. Did you make my career?
Absolutely not.
I knew you.
No, you did. I did not have anything to do with making your career. I just was a fan.
I ride your coattails all over the place, or that I fucking
I was just
and beg for jobs.
I am a fan of yours.
Okay, thank you.
That's how I came to know you.
Also, I want Cabbie to know that when Brett was contacting a bunch of companies in the industry, he was saying full on that we did a film at Howard's studio, and we're trying to sell the movie. Would you like to purchase it? So
control other people.
No, Cabbie, I'm saying in fairness to you, it was Brett.
How is that fairness to him?
Because Brett was one who was already telling people
But
about your
was Cabbie
studio.
in business with
so
Brett?
I'm not ratting
Was
this out.
Cabbie in business with Brett?
I don't know. He was in the movie. Cabbie was in another movie that was shot outside. Or part
Cabbie,
of
were you in business with Brett? Yes or no?
I know who Brett is, and that's.
Were you in business with Brett or not? Yes or no?
When you say in business, Howard, I mean you're.
If you were a producer and he was a producer, it sounds like you're in business.
Were you in business with the guy? Yes or no?
Was I in a business partnership?
Were you in business with the guy? Yes or no?
No.
No.
You were just an employee.
I'm an employee.
Were you at all involved?
Then you're not Spielberg at all.
Were you at all involved in getting Brett and Ron into the studio on any level? Did you help that happen?
Did I help what happened?
Get Brett and Ron and Tabitha and the other girl in the studio. Did you at all have anything to do with that?
Someone else did that.
But did you know about it?
I knew about it. I was there. Fucking A, Artie. I mean, don't be stupid.
Were you the reason
So
they
you're
said they
lying.
had permission?
That doesn't mean I did it. Just because I knew about something doesn't mean I did it.
Did you know Ron Jeremy was shooting in the studio, a porno in my studio?
I knew, yes.
You knew, okay.
For years it happened, and I never talked about it.
And Cabbie, one more thing.
Were you in a discussion to let people into my studio?
Was I in on this?
Yes.
No.
No. You had nothing to do with it.
Not let those people in your studio.
There's one other thing here, though, Cabbie. Are you the reason they were running around saying that Howard was okay with this?
No, I wasn't.
You're claiming that Howard gave permission.
He did. It's on the.
Cabbie, if we were joking around don't you think you'd...
Okay, so you were joking around.
You know when we're joking around. I don't even know that I don't even remember this discussion, but let's say on the air we're talking about, let's go shoot a porno. But you would come to me afterwards and say, hey, Howard, do you think it would be okay if I shot a porno in your studio? Number one, you know it's against the rules of K-Rock to shoot any porno in a studio involving penetration.
Cabbie, your claim that Howard okayed this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard a human being say.
Well, yeah,
you're acting like a retard.
When the audio comes out, you'll say what?
Cab.
Yeah, okay,
I can't even.
Cabbie.
That sounds so stupid. You're just being dumb, and you're going to be dumb your whole fucking life.
Okay.
Honestly, dude, you wouldn't go to Howard in private and say, "Look, on the air, you said I could do a porno. I'm going to make this happen. Everything cool with that?"
Yeah, I think at the very least you'd offer to cut me in. You know, I mean,
at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might as well tell me.
Using your name.
You might as well tell me when you're shooting it if I'm so for it.
I've never used your name for gain ever.
Wait.
Okay.
Ever,
Yeah.
not once.
You're digging your hole deeper, Cabbie. I'm trying to help you. You're just digging it deeper.
Fred, go ahead.
I didn't think deeper. I already fucking. What am I supposed to say, Artie? I fucking said I'm sorry that it was never going to come out. What do I keep? What do you want me to say? What the fuck do you want me to say?
Where is this porno now, by the way?
Shelved. It's gone. It was
gone.
I think the masters
around
went to
somewhere.
Brett. I think Brett destroyed them. I think
The masters are destroyed.
the masters went to Brett and he destroyed them.
Ron has a VHS copy, correct?
I don't think I do anymore.
So
The editor.
in the book, you said you did.
Either I or my editor might have a copy, but or else none of the masters were
You
destroyed.
see, Ron sort of reeled it in because in the book, Ron's whole rap is that he feels sort of ripped off, and that he said that he's got this VHS copy, that the only person that got paid was the editor, that he feels that his actors got ripped off, and that maybe just to piss
And
everybody
actually,
off,
that's not true
release
because
it.
I know for a fact the females got paid.
Yeah, but they all took like basically very little because it
But
was
still,
their thing.
they got paid.
Yeah,
They
I
got
say
paid.
I say in the book that they got paid.
Some girls come to Jersey and shoot and get paid nothing.
I said in the book they got paid something and that they got their expenses to go across the country.
Fred?
I have two questions for Cabbie. Whose idea was it to shoot in Howard's studio? Number one, and when did you agree to it?
I'm not speaking on those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's an honest
I
question.
speak to Howard in private, but I'm not the guy.
I don't ever want to talk to you about
It's out in
this.
the open already, Cabbie. I mean, whose
I don't
idea
even-
was it?
It's not. You know what? Hey, listen, I'm taking the fucking heat round right now, and that's where it ends because other people don't need to fucking.
Well, I don't want to talk to you about it.
I'm not sure I understand your rationale.
The only conversation I want to have is right here.
Rationale. See, I have a loyalty to keep my fucking mouth shut when somebody says something. When I called on the fucking cell phone from prison, did I tell on the guy with the cell phone? No, I took the fucking heat round, and I spent 90 fucking days in the hole because you don't fucking tell. There's some things you don't tell, okay? And I fucking was part of something who was fucking.
Yeah, I guess you don't tell me when you're shooting a movie.
Yeah.
I said, you know what?
What about that?
We shouldn't do it.
I guess you don't tell me.
By
either
answering
way.
Fred's questions, who are you protecting?
Right.
You're not. Just be honest about your involvement. We're not asking for anybody else's
No.
shit.
I've been honest about my fucking involvement.
It's just
Not
asking a
really.
question about an idea.
No, I have.
Answer Fred's questions.
I'm going to toss somebody out there.
What was your question again, Fred?
Okay, was it your idea to shoot in?
Whose idea? It was a general question. Whose idea was it?
It's not my idea.
But were you in on the planning? I mean, was everybody sitting around in the production of this film?
Robin, I'm not in on anything. I'm just me.
I don't believe it.
No, but he started off as Steven Spielberg, and now he's nobody.
In the face, Howard. I wasn't in on the plan.
Yeah, but I don't believe that for a minute. I mean, the fact is, of course you're in on it.
Well, you had to be because you asked Howard the question on the air, which you says is on video,
Yeah,
is
I
on
mean-
audio tape, saying, "Would you mind if I shot a porno in your studio?" And according to you, Howard said yes.
Spielberg knew they were shooting Jaws at Martha's Vineyard.
You're Master Audio Vault guy. Find me audio.
Well,
Spielberg
You're
needs
the guy
another
that said we
location.
have it.
believe me, you're in on it. For you to deny that you're
Now
in on
he's
it.
a key grip. He was Spielberg, and now he's holding electrical.
Now he's craft services.
I
Yeah.
wasn't in on the planning. That's what you asked me. and I
Yeah,
answered.
okay. You weren't in on the planning. You weren't part of the movie.
I was a part of the movie.
Yeah. Wait. So what was your role? The whole appeal of the movie was shooting it in my studio.
You never sat down with anybody before they started filming.
What?
The appeal of the movie was me in a porno.
No, the appeal of the movie was doing it in my studio. No offense.
No, the original appeal of the movie was me in a porno. You asked me what the appeal of the movie
Well,
was.
according to Ron, the appeal was getting into Howard's studio. That was important to the film crew and the producer. That if I
That
endorsed
got everybody to move.
But Cabbie's scenes were outside the studio.
We're not talking about
understand
Cabbie's
that.
scenes.
Okay.
We're talking about the movie.
talking about your scene in my studio in my chair.
If that ever came out, Ron, all over the cover is going to be Ron Jeremy fuck such and such in Howard Stern's chair. That's the hook.
All right, let's go to Irish John.
It's not going to come out.
Well, if it
Well,
had,
we know. Now we know. Irish John, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard. Tabitha, who's a very good friend of mine, dated my brother, said that Cabbie brought them up to the studio, Tabitha and Ron, wanted some guy to film them in the studio having sex on your console.
Right.
And Tabitha refused because you're a germaphobe.
Right.
So her side of the story is she never had sex in your studio. They did.
There's 50 different stories, Howard.
Tabitha was in the green room.
Ron agrees. He said Tabitha never came in.
Taylor Wayne was on your chair on a towel. On a
towel. Tabitha protected me more than my friend.
And he's going to claim he wouldn't know that this would bother you.
No, that wouldn't bother me. People having sex in my chair.
Yeah.
See, and I don't even remember that happening, so I wasn't there when that happened. So, I mean, obviously things happened when I wasn't around, too. I mean, that's just it.
Your film got out of your control, Steven Spielberg.
Everybody.
Well, maybe you should have been there. Maybe you should have protected me a little.
That's just it, Howard. You know,
Did you think I'd be upset? That's obviously why the movie didn't come out.
No, I didn't. I didn't think you'd be upset.
Wow.
Tabitha said Cabbie planned the whole thing.
What did Tabitha say?
She said that Cabbie planned the whole thing.
Well, of course he did.
Together with some other guy that was there filming, producing. That it was them two.
I believe that.
That's Brett.
But Cabbie, of course you did, and you don't have to lie to me anymore.
And I'm not going to sit here and say I did, because I didn't.
Okay. Well, whatever.
I'm telling you I'm sorry it happened, and that's all
I am
can
too.
do is
I'm really sorry it
apologize.
happened too. I'm really sorry it happened too.
That's what happens when you do a benefit for a transient.
Oh.
Yeah, Artie, thanks for doing the benefit.
Listen, I love Cabbie, but dude, right now, not coming clean right now is officially burning a bridge that you probably are going to need in life, and being dishonest about it right now is making it so incredibly worse.
I've been fucking straight up every time I've ever come on that show, and just like I'm being straight up now, you know what? It never needed to come out that this happened. It never fucking needed to come out. It was a fucking mistake, and guess what? I was a part of a mistake, and that's why it was put away and burned forever.
I'm surprised it took this long. You were lucky it took years for this to happen.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cabbie, one more question. Yes or no?
I'm in fucking New York City radio, and I made a mistake. I was part of a mistake, and that's why I put it away. I put it to fucking rest. But for some ungodly reasons, I don't know why, someone wanted to sell their book, and God bless you, Ron, I love you. But, you know, you didn't have to put that in there. But you did.
You can't blame Ron for doing that.
No.
Yeah, you should have waited for Cabbie to write a book so he could put it in there.
So many companies, so many people knew about it. So many companies knew about it.
I have more to talk about than that, and that's why it was put away. It was fucking buried.
Ron, what time of the day was it shot? Was it in the middle of the night?
Late night.
Cabbie, were you doing your overnight show at another studio while this was happening?
No.
You were not in the building at all?
I wasn't doing my overnight show. I wasn't on overnights yet.
Were you in the building
It was
at
a
all?
long time ago, Artie. It was a fucking long time.
Were you in the building when the sex scene was happening in Howard's studio?
At one point, yes.
He was in Howard's studio banging another girl. He snuck a bunch of people up, according to Tabitha.
He had to be in the studio when it happened. He wouldn't let that happen without him being there.
Story way out of line. That's bullshit.
You were in the studio while this was happening?
He just said he was.
How can you say it's bullshit? You keep saying it was a long time ago, I don't remember, but you know everything I say factual is bullshit.
No, you know, I'm telling you, I was not in the other studio banging some girl.
That's not what he asked. He wasn't.
He was in my studio banging some girl.
And say you know everything that's happened?
Brett was. I don't know if Cabbie was.
I'm trying to wake Tabitha up. She phoned in 2 seconds.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to Ralph. Ralph,
Nobody touched my chair, did they?
Ralph, what's up?
I'm like, my cubicle was okay, wasn't it?
Calm down. Hey, you know, it's so obvious when, Cabbie, when you're lying, man, because, you know, when Howard's asking about Brett and if you were in business and stuff, you go, what? Or you repeat the question, like all of a sudden you can't hear.
Because everybody's yelling, Ralph.
All of a sudden you can't hear. You need time to think. But anyway, in a way, wait.
Okay, Ralph,
Cabbie,
you know me too.
Cabbie, wait.
You should talk about lying and stealing from your friends. Go ahead.
In a way, you shut up, because in a way I want to defend you.
Okay, go ahead and defend me.
The guy is called Crazy Cabbie. He's not.
Yeah, I know.
knew that would come up.
I know, Ralph. I know all about it.
Ralph, that's a bad argument. You know, the relationship with Howard and him went deeper than that. It wasn't just some crazy guy you ran into.
I
at
really
the
like
studio.
Cabbie. You know, it was like,
but I mean, he was always crazy. I mean, he was like this intense, wacky guy who could go off at any minute. And
we know that, Ralph. But I just want to know the truth. That's all.
Yeah.
And
Cabbie,
you're not going to get it.
Ralph, the thing about this is it's not going off. This is planned.
Yeah.
This takes time to put together.
This wasn't so crazy.
And I've got one thing to say about that, Ralph. You can ask 10 people, crazy or not smart. 10 out of 10 people will say it's not a good idea to do a porno in Howard's studio.
God, no.
Period.
I mean, obviously, and he still.
So he can pull that crazy card if he wanted to, which I don't think he is.
And how am I pulling a crazy card, Fred?
No, Ralph just did it.
Right.
Ralph just pulled it.
I even said that you're not pulling it. Ralph is pulling it for you.
I regret being a part of it, and that's why it was put in a fucking trash can.
And Artie is trying to help you by saying, stop digging the hole deeper and come.
Trying to fucking get me to toss someone on the bus, and I'm not going to.
Oh, God, Cabbie, you could not be more wrong, man. I don't give a fuck about Brad, whoever you're protecting. I'm trying to help you.
He's not listening. Howard? He's not listening.
The move here, Cabbie, is to get very humble and apologetic and try to at least salvage your reputation by being honest a bit. We're letting you do it.
You're the one weaving the circle.
And I've got
somebody under the bus.
I've got another question.
Cabbie.
And
Listen
you know
and
what,
learn.
Ralph, you have no idea, dude. You know,
All right, let me go to.
I'm the guy who's been fucking sober 9 out of the last 10 years. You don't know about making amends, okay? I know about that shit. All right, I know about making my wrongs right.
What do you want, a fucking prize? Could you do the right thing?
No, what I'm saying, Ralph, is, I know how to make things right, okay? You don't, to come on the air and be fucking badgered and hammered is not the way to do things like this. I fucked up. Ron wants to sell a book. Fine. Ron sells his book. I fucked up. I put the shit away. I put it to rest. It was never, ever going to fucking see the light of day, and that's the way it was supposed to be. And if I ever came to Howard and talked to Howard in private, that would happen.
Yeah, but again, Cabbie.
Hello?
Where's Ralph?
Cabbie, you
Yeah,
don't.
I'm here. Hello?
Cabbie.
Yeah, I'm here.
You don't get it. Ron still has a right. That's part of his story too. He could say what happened to him.
Some evil, crazy shit happened when I was in fucking war, and guess what? I don't talk about it. Because
Cabbie!
That's your choice.
Listen,
See, you don't get it, man.
everybody, because others don't want to talk about it. Just because you're a fucking story doesn't mean the whole world needs to know about it. Okay? Some shit happens in life, and some things you talk about, and other things you don't. And sometimes you put a mistake to rest, and you never talk about it. Okay?
I didn't break the story. I mean, when Brett was hiring the talent,
You didn't break the story. You and Tabitha have been trying to break the story for years.
yeah.
You kept saying, please keep your mouth shut. Please keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, but listen,
You
Cabbie.
try to sell it, Ron.
Cabbie, Brett was mentioning the studio when he was hiring the talent.
Ron, you've threatened to try to sell it. You've threatened to say you're going to release it on a fucking documentary, and guess what?
Well, when my editor wasn't paid, I said we're going to release it for free.
You didn't get paid, Ron.
No, my editor. I said my editor.
Do you ever do a sex scene for free, Ron?
This was just for expenses, but I was okay with that because we thought Howard was involved.
But now all of a sudden you're bitching about not getting paid?
No, I didn't bitch about it in the book. I said we got something, we got expenses.
No, you bitched about it before.
No, what I'm saying is, first of all, I'm saying that Brett had mentioned the studio when he was hiring the girls. Brett mentioned Howard's name when he was trying to sell the movie to 3 different companies. So hold on. People knew about this years and years and years ago.
I've never fucking mentioned Howard's name.
I didn't say you did.
I don't sell myself off Howard's name.
Look, I
let me go to Angry Black.
I didn't say.
Other people to
Hold
do
on.
it? Is that
I
what-
didn't say.
Let me go to Angry Black.
I didn't say he did.
All
And
right.
second of all, I said you were not in the studio when I was in the studio, so I'm pretty much defending you on those points.
Yeah, but you could have just defended me by not ever bringing my fucking name up again.
Well, everyone knew about the movie because Brett was mentioning it to sell it.
All right,
Angry
listen,
Black.
listen, this is real simple. Cabbie and I had our fight in April of '01. In October of '01, I went to the Adult Video Convention down in Atlantic City, and Ron was there, and Tabitha was there, and so forth. I met Brett, okay? He took me back to a suite, and he showed me the porno.
And what did you see?
Yeah, I'm sorry?
And what did you see?
I saw the scene with Ron, and Cabbie, I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm just saying, I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. It looked like you were banging a chick in Howard's studio. Now, let me finish. Brett said to me, Cabbie and I were going to make a lot of money off this because he was trying to get me to do a spanking video with this Asian chick, which
I heard that. I heard that story from Brett about that.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So I'm telling the truth. I don't lie. Cabbie, bro, I'm not throwing you under the bus. This is
I
what
didn't have
Brett
sex
told
with a girl in the studio.
Cabbie, listen to me. Cabbie, listen to me for a second.
You fucking show me that film.
Cabbie wasn't there.
You show me that film.
Cabbie, I'm not throwing you under the bus.
Cabbie wasn't there, Angry Black.
It's just like, oh, dude, whatever.
Cabbie was not there. Cabbie was not in there.
You can beat this to death. Howard, I would like to talk to you off the air in private about
I would rather not. I would rather not.
It's too much good radio. Why would he?
Why would I talk off the air? I mean, I would be. I am thoroughly humiliated by this.
But also, Cabbie, you're talking about going through your programs and knowing what contrition is. It obviously sounds like you don't, because you don't get to control how the world works. You just have to deal with the world you made when you were making stupid decisions.
Yeah, and And you know what? You're right. I might never talk to Howard again because of it, and all I can do is apologize. Howard.
I got to let me tell you how I feel.
Howard, I'm sorry, man.
Since I'm the victim, let me tell you how I feel.
All right.
I really do like Cabbie a lot. I really, really do. I think Cabbie's made a lot of bad decisions in his life. But yet, as a radio talent, I've always been behind him and always done whatever I could for the guy. I have a weird personality. We certainly know that. And when I feel betrayed, it's not that I don't even. It's not even like I don't want to be friends with Cabbie. It's just I get so hurt that I don't know how to. I don't know how to even like look at this person anymore.
Right.
You know, I've been betrayed by 2 or 3 people in my life that were close to me, and even a lot closer than Cabbie. And you know, I do get this thing where I go like, I do. You know, this sucks because in a way, Cabbie, I really like this guy. I want to just only have good feelings about him. You know what I mean? I really like the guy. And it's like, it just kind of sucks for me because I know I have a hard time getting past
You'll
shit
never
like
be
this.
able to look at him in the same way again.
No, it's not. And it's not that he's not. I can't explain it with me. It's just.
But you're not any different than other people.
I mean, Cabbie was there with me. Cabbie, and I used to invite Cabbie. Cabbie was there the night I met Beth.
I know, but everybody who is betrayed gets really hurt and disillusioned. It's a disillusionment because you thought he was somebody he isn't to you.
And I'm one of those people that, of all the people I open up to, maybe Cabbie's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And what sucks in this for me is that
You lose that?
I lose that.
Right.
That I'm the one who loses, not Cabbie. Cabbie will be just fine.
Too, man. You can say I don't lose, but I do lose.
I do, because like I like having you on. And
you a friend, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry, and that's all I can.
All right, well that's fair enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, now you're going towards the right direction.
Right,
I mean,
he was totally off the market first.
Before, man, but you guys just fucking won't let me.
Well, you don't. You're not. You're having a hard time being honest. You're not really.
I'm having a hard time talking about certain things that I never wanted to talk about. Is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, you can be honest and say, look, here's exactly what I did. What I did was I came up with an idea to produce this. I got people in the studio. I arranged for things. I thought I was going to make a lot of money. And I wish the fuck I could take it back. And that's fine.
And I've said that. I wish I could
No,
take it
that
all
wasn't
back, and I
exactly
wish
what
it
you
never
said.
happened.
Right.
And that's why it was all put away, Howard.
Right.
And that's what I keep saying. But I'm not going to sit here and throw myself further under the bus on the air.
I do appreciate.
Other people under the bus on the air, as Gary said.
Well, you got to stop blaming others.
It's not going to help me or anybody else.
But you can't
Those
blame.
others didn't have a relationship with Howard.
Right. You can't blame Ron Jeremy. It's his story.
You don't know that.
You can't blame. No, you can't.
All
you can't
right,
blame.
whatever.
You can only blame yourself because you and I are the only ones who have the relationship.
Anybody.
And if there's some other asshole out there who's a friend of mine that betrayed me in this, well, then you know what? Then that's his story. But this is my story with you.
I understand that.
You know.
And you know what? I've always been straight up, and I've always been honest about my shit. And I'm being honest here. And I'm just there's certain things I don't want to say to fucking cripple myself even more than I'm being crippled as we speak. Do you understand what I mean, Howard?
No, but what's the difference?
You don't?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No, I don't.
Well, like I said, I'll shoot you an email, and if you care to respond, you'll understand more.
All right.
I'm not going to dig my hole deeper. On
You want to know something, Cabbie? If you want to help me out, don't shoot me an email about this, and let's not talk about it anymore.
All right.
Because it hurts too much.
I understand completely.
I'd really rather not hear
I
it.
don't want to beat the dead horse.
You don't want to know the whole truth?
No.
Just know that I'm fucking sorry, dude.
And if there's more guys that I consider friends who are involved in this, don't even tell me because.
Right, that's the question, Cabbie. Is there anyone else who Howard knows who was involved? Without mentioning.
See, you keep fucking going there, bro. I told you.
Don't mention any names.
My nuts over a fire, and I'm not going to say because I don't fucking tell tales. I don't have to go out there and fucking kick people around.
This is very CIA.
I mean, I would take that as a yes then. There's other people involved, Howard knows.
I take the ownership and I walk away with it, okay? I don't have to fucking bust somebody else down and put somebody else out there. And that's what I've been trying to fucking say from the very beginning.
I'm not asking you to, Cab. I just asked if there's so.
Asking me to, Artie. And I told you.
I am not.
I ain't the fucking guy who's going to tell.
Well, by the way, thanks for.
I've never told on anybody my whole fucking life.
Thanks for letting me know there are people out there I shouldn't trust, but I am trusting them.
Howard, see, that's.
Maybe you should tell me. Maybe so I.
Why
so
is it more important to protect them than Howard?
Why protect them over me? What if they're dangerous to me?
We have in private, Howard.
No, I don't want any conversation.
Okay, well then I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna fucking sit here like
All right.
he wants me to do.
Well, protect them.
Keep saying I'm not gonna fucking do that to somebody.
Protect them.
I hope they're as good to you.
I hope they're good to you.
No, see, you know
know what, Robin? Robin, would you tell on somebody? You wouldn't.
I wouldn't be doing this.
Okay. You know what? If you did make a mistake, would you?
Usually it's just my mistake because I don't work with anybody else.
Drag somebody else down with you.
I don't play well with others.
You know what this is like? This is like when.
Well, I'm glad those people will be protected, and I won't know who they are.
He's got some good friends. He's taking care of them.
This is.
If you have a conversation with me in private, you might feel different.
Well, that's all right.
And if you don't want to, I understand that too.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you're embarrassed.
I always feel like a dupe when I trust people and they're my friends, and then they screw me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Cabbie,
It's a horrible feeling.
Cabbie,
It's a
this is
horrible
like when Ron Lundy let Linda Lovelace into Harry Harrison's studio for a porno.
Sort of the same
Yeah,
thing.
Harry and Ron never talked again.
Well, what can I tell you? Bobo, what do you want to say?
Hey, how you doing, Howard? I know for a fact that Stutterman John knows about what happened because him and Cabbie were going at it in the studio, and John slipped, and you guys never picked up on it, but I remember this. He goes, why don't you tell me about the porno that you guys made in Howard's studio? And it blew over, but I always remember that. So John knows fucking what happened.
Well, maybe John will tell me what happened.
This has been a rumor for a while.
Well, we've heard that there was a rumor, and Cabbie said it didn't go down.
This floating rumor.
And when Cabbie told me it didn't go down, I believed him.
Put it away.
I would never even ask a second time. If Cabbie tells me it didn't go down, I believed him. I asked him about it a long time ago, and he said it didn't happen, so I believed him.
Well, for what it's worth, I know all the footage, and Cabbie never had sex in your studio.
Well, that's not the issue.
That's not
I understand
the issue.
it's not, but let me just go on record to say
Ralph,
that.
you're on the air.
Angry Black was wrong when he said that.
Hey, Cabbie, quick question.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
If you weren't in business with this guy, then how do you own the releases?
Because Steven Spielberg owns the releases, doesn't he?
All right.
I mean,
You keep twisting it and turning it, Ralph.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that you're not being honest.
Ralph, you can't polish a turd. I never stole from Howard or whoever you stole from.
I
don't even know.
He's never stolen from me.
Cabbie, so don't try and turn it around on me. I'm just asking a question, and you start yelling. Hey, keep yelling.
All right. Well, listen, Cabbie, I appreciate you calling in.
You know what? Listen, I told you, and I would love to talk to you off the air, and I'm very sorry.
Let's not bring it up again.
Okay, well, Howard, I mean it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too, because you're one of those guys I trust. And it's...
Well, I'm sorry that you feel betrayed, and I mean that. I would like to speak with you off the air.
Please don't.
Okay.
Not about this. Thank you.
Did you see the same, on a whole separate note, did you see the Sam Kinison stuff in the book? I thought you might like some of that. About the car
He couldn't
crash.
get past
He
himself.
flipped the car on me. We were in a car once together discussing the Lord.
Yeah, you were as crazy as I was. I drove in a Sam Kinison car, too.
Discussing the Lord.
Yeah, no,
he was
seriously.
driving with his belly while he was taking pills.
Well, no,
Yeah,
he
and
actually, we
somehow he
discussed,
never looked at the
No,
road.
it's a true story. He says to me, we're discussing the Lord, and I'm saying, well, I wish I had more proof sometimes. I'm a Jewish boy. You're a Pentecostal minister. He slides off the embankment on the way to the Catch Rising Star. Car turns upside down. We're rolling down a hill, and then we actually had missing the trees miraculously. He hitchhikes the Catch Rising Star to meet Robin Williams. We're taking glass off of our bodies, and not one piece of blood, not a scratch.
Catch a Rising Star where?
He was doing a show here in New York.
In
He was
New York
Jersey,
City,
yeah. So he says to me, well, you believe in God now? I said, well, you go to great lengths to prove a point, Sam. And then Carl LeBeau and Bill Kennison said to me, Sam wasn't the one proving the point.
Hey, did you get to bang a lot of famous chicks? And do you talk about that in your book?
I never discussed that. Yeah,
You
no.
know,
I've hung out with gone on a lot of dates. I mentioned some of the women in the book.
Who
I
have
mentioned,
you dated?
Well, I mentioned I took Fairuza Balk to the Larry Flint Christmas party. And
Who'd you take?
Boogie
Fairuza
Nights.
Balk.
Took her to the premiere of Boogie
Who's
Nights.
Fairuza Balk?
Fairuza Balk. She's been in, she's the chick in The Water Boy, the Sandler
I mentioned girls I've
movie.
gone out with.
She's in a bunch of movies. She's hot. She's hot as hell.
Recently, didn't you claim in your book, too, that you showed your penis to Paris Hilton?
Yeah,
And,
that was in the paper the other day.
We did a flash for flash thing with Bijou Phillips at Val Kilmer's rap party for Wonderland.
Bijou showed you her titties?
Yes.
Oh, those are nice, I bet.
They're lovely. And the thing is, she whispers in my ear while I'm playing the piano next to Sean Lennon, Joe, can I see it? And I said, well, you should give a flash. I'll give a flash. So we go into the woman's room, and they trade flashes.
Wow.
Unfortunately, nothing else happened. But then a lady in the bathroom told that story to the Post, and I denied it, saying I can't acknowledge it. But then when Paris admitted it a year later at the Hard Rock Hotel to Fred Durst. So now when the Post calls, I can say, yes, it happened.
Did you put in your book the incident with Sal? Sal's such an asshole. He, Ron was taking a picture with somebody one time, and Sal was standing behind him, and Sal took out his balls and put them on Ron's head.
I didn't mention that. I didn't even know what was going on.
And Ron was going to kill Sal.
Oh, that's
and Sal was
funny.
like, gee, but you're in porno. I thought you'd like that. And I go, Sal, what makes you think Ron Jeremy wants a pair of balls
He
on his
doesn't
head?
I didn't even know what it was.
Sal.
I'm facing this way. He's above me in a staircase, and I feel something in my hand. There was his hand.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the heck that was. was.
Where was this?
It was on they were doing a comedy show in Hollywood.
It was a bar in L.A., and I gotta say, I've known Ron for a long time. He was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Really pissed.
Because I said he did what? Like I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, he had his balls and cock on your head.
Was it the cock too, Gary?
Was it the cock too?
Yeah, because Sal was going around telling everybody. Later on in the night, he was bragging, I gave Ron Jeremy a Roman helmet.
That's a wow. That's what that's called.
Not quite.
I see the visual. I get it.
Ron, did you know anybody involved with those Wonderland murders? Did you know anything going on?
I knew
with
John
it?
Holmes. That's all.
What is it, Sal?
Can I show you real quick how I did it? Like, if I stand behind, can I just show Howard?
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't do it.
Sure.
I was on the stairs, right? No, look at Howard. And we wanted to take
Oh,
the picture.
stop it. What
So
is
what
he
I did
doing
was-
now?
Get out of here.
Oh, my God. He wants to do it again.
Leave Ron alone.
You're not strong enough for this. You know I can kill you. You know?
Let me just show you real quick. Let me show you.
Do it for
Make
Howard.
it happen.
Get out of here, Sal.
You know I can kill you. You know that, right?
Could you
Sounds
kill
so
him?
crazy.
Yeah, of course I can.
You do karate?
Yeah.
Wow.
Could you kill him? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, he's a nice guy.
Ron almost did yesterday. Ron.
He's actually a nice guy. He
like
he was drunk too, wasn't he, Gary?
Yes.
I was almost holding him up.
Did you
Like he
date?
he
Was that
like-
for real that you dated Kathy Griffin recently?
Yeah, yeah. She mentioned it on The
Did you
View.
fuck her?
You really went on a date with her?
Yeah. Went to a nice little date to the Rainbow Bar and Grill.
Yeah, but it was
And
for
took her
publicity
off.
purposes.
No, actually, well, she's single now, so it was kind of like a combination of both. She was saying
Did
we're
you
going to
do it?
videotape it. Nah,
What was it like when you banged Blue Iris? Was that horrible?
I think it was just oral. I think.
Oh.
There I go again. I'm radio savvy. She just blew me. It wasn't
Right.
actual screwing.
That was it, huh?
Yeah.
She blew you. You didn't blow her.
No.
And you could get it up for her?
Well, I did the old grip routine, which I describe in the book. You know, if you like quite hard, you do 2 fingers and a thumb, and you squeeze and you yank forward. You actually make like a fake erection, kind of.
Wow.
It's like a cock ring effect.
See, that's a professional.
I've taught a lot of guys that.
There's a guy who knows what's going on.
It's good to know how to do that in case you're not totally, you know.
How do you measure your penis real quick? Do you start from your balls?
From the back of the room.
From the back of the room.
No, but you push your stomach in, you get a little extra 1/4 inch out of it. Right here on the stomach.
Yes.
And you go right there, and there's a long
Up
shaft.
on the top, you
If you suck in your gut hard enough, you can get an extra 1/4 inch out of it.
Well, Ron, the book is very controversial, as you can see. After all, it inspired about an hour conversation on this show.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Ron Jeremy's book is called The Hardest Working Man in Show Business, stories about women, about the porn industry, about making a porno in my studio. I mean, he lets it all out. He talks about nights with Sam Kinison. And
He's known them all.
And he's known them all. It's quite a fascinating life, and it's called The Hardest Working Man in Show Business. It's in stores now. And you can check out Ron at myspace.com/Ron Jeremy.
And there's also great, I got to say, also great Dennis Hoff stories in there, because you're friends with the Bunny Ranch.
Right, dude,
Some
those guys.
great practical jokes he pulls on me, and that's in the book as well.
All right, Ron. Good.
Hey, Howard, how long did you work in like a regular job in life? You were a teacher.
I was a
right?
teacher for about a year and a
Before you
half.
said,
I was a
before you
maitre d'.
realized, look, I got this thing that I gotta put to
I got a
use.
gift.
Yeah, like
I was a maitre d' up in the Catskill Mountains all through
Right.
college. I did some comedy up in the Catskills. I was a school teacher, taught skiing, substitute teacher.
But when
And
did you
then-
say, fuck, I got this?
I was 25, 1978. I did a thing.
Did
for
someone
Playgirl.
discover you? Or you
A
just
girlfriend sent a picture of me into Playgirl
Oh.
magazine. I was in the October issue with John Ritter on the cover, and they had a picture of me inside as a guy next door. This is when I was real skinny. Now they want me in Field and Stream. I was
Right.
skinny. And then they published it, and then I got into adult films late '78.
What was it like banging an 87-year-old woman?
That idea, it was difficult, but it was the old grip routine. It was more like just to be entertaining and to show that you're never too old to have a good time.
Max, you're on the air. Go ahead in Long Island.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, now.
2 quick questions. One for you, Howard. One for Ron. Ron, Tracy Lords, where is she rate in your old-time?
Yeah, Tracy
she was
Lord.
terrific. She was terrific. But see, I worked with her later on.
Not
I
when
think
she was
quite-
a kid.
She was
She
16?
wasn't quite 18, but I know it was right before we found out. So I wasn't one of those who worked with her in the very beginning of her career when she was 16 and 17. I was like, she was 17 and a half
Right.
before she went to Europe. And she was phenomenal. She was terrific.
Ron, good luck with the book.
Thanks, Howard.
The book is in stores now. The Hardest Working Man in Show Business. Ron
It's actually
Jeremy.
hardest man in show business.
Hardest man in
The
show
parentheses, like a little joke there. You know,
Right.
Right.
Harper Collins is funny.
myspace.com/Ron Jeremy. We'll be back right after. Here's Marianne. She's very upset. Quickly, Marianne, go ahead.
You know what bothers me? I hope Cabbie's listening, Howard. When he was in jail during all the holidays and stuff, you were the only one who spoke about him. You thought about him. You said send stamps and self-addressed envelopes and magazines, and I did that, Howard. I did it because
Well, I do.
about him.
I like the guy very much.
But I don't understand why he has no respect or regard for someone, especially like you, Howard. Who
Well, he claims he made a mistake, and
I
he
don't know,
says.
Howard. We were all backing him up because you were on the air talking about him. And I also, in my own little world, was thinking about him and felt sorry for him. I'm getting tired of him, Howard. I hope you're listening, Cabbie. I'm freaking tired of your nonsense.
All right, Marianne, thank you.
I love you, Howard.
In Cabbie's defense, he says it happened a long time ago. He knew he made a mistake and tried to cover it up by getting a hold of this tape and never releasing it. So, but it was a hell of a story, and it's in the book. And that's good. Mike, you're on the air.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I wanted to ask Ron, hey, did you bang that chick Trishelle from The Real World? Tell me you did.
I wish I could tell you that. Everyone got frisky and flirty, but we saw each other naked in the last day of the show in the nudist camp. But and I had Tracy Bingham sitting on my lap in the jacuzzi, which kind of pissed off her fiance. But no one did any banging. No, there are cameras there. Who was going to bang in front of a camera?
Who was on your season of Surreal World? Wasn't it the
It was
midget?
myself. It was Tracy Bingham.
Yeah.
It was Trishelle, Eric Estrada, Vanilla Ice, my pet tortoise, and Tammy Faye.
And
You didn't bang Tammy Faye, did you?
No, that's sacrilegious. You can go to hell for even saying that.
It wasn't Mini-Me in that?
No. He's in the one I'm on now.
Okay.
Now we're on the new one. Vern's in that one. The one now it's called the Fame Games.
Right.
We're on every Sunday and Thursday for the next few weeks.
Real good. All right. And get the book. Hardest Man in Showbiz. Thank you.
So, Ron, despite some of the tough conversation in there about Cabbie and the porn, you still glad he came in?
I don't see him get grilled. And what's nice, Howard's still his friend. So I think it worked out. And Brett is perfectly willing to take the fall. Brett says, I produced it, and I'll admit that I produced it. So Brett had sex in the studio, too. No, they didn't even get into that, So, I mean, I've seen the footage. I know it. I was helping to edit it.
There's a whole other can of worms in there.
Well, I mean, Cabbie wasn't there at the time. Maybe Brett had the connections to get in the studio. Maybe they'll find out someday. I don't know.
Chào tất cả mọi người, vào nay bên em lại về một chiếc Hyundai Elantra, chiếc xe sản xuất 2019 bản 2.0 tự động phiên bản màu đỏ. Và chiếc xe này rất là đáng tiếc bởi vì nó đã qua mùa ốc lũ rồi. Chuyến nó ngập vào cái tuyến đường của nó đã ngập hết, vì vậy là nó đã còn mùa lũ. Giá rất là rẻ thôi, chưa đến 400 cho một chiếc xe 2019. Tuy nhiên là trước khi báo giá thì em sẽ quay tổng thể chiếc xe cho mọi người cùng xem. Đầu tiên các bạn có thể thấy rằng Elantra là một trong những dòng phân khúc hạng C rất là đẹp. Các bạn nhìn hệ thống đèn của nó, hệ thống đèn của nó nhìn rất là đẹp ấy.
Bye.